we are dealing with sharp objects, it is really important for us to be more careful and have the presence of mind at all times. Or else, we'll end up, yes. Tissue repair, it is a important and a natural process that the primary goal is to restore the formation and the function of the tissue after the wound that we have falls under the first intention or the primary union. When we say first intention, the wound has an approximate edge and it doesn't have foreign materials or microtic debris which are infectious. I have here a visual representation of a dermis, the epidermis, the subcutaneous fat, and the artery. See, cutting some area here. For example, this is the wound. So we all know that after the wound, it will form a hemostatic plug. Initially, it is a fibrin cloth. Then, the hemostasis phase will start. It prevents further bleeding, construction of capillaries to reduce bleeding, red blood cells and platelets release from the damaged blood vessel to flow into the wound, aggregate or produce a plug or clot in the wound. After 24 to 48 hours, the cell starts to proliferate, or the cell proliferation stage will begin. They proliferate and progress towards one another and forms a thin cover, squamous epithelial tissue to cover the surface of the wound. Fibroblast is very important in healing because it is a type of cell found in connective tissue. Fibroblast secretes collagen, proteins that are used to maintain a structural framework for many tissues. We have here the structure of fibroblasts. In this phase also, the formation of granulation tissue occurs. After 2 to 3 weeks, the deposition of connective tissues occur. We can see here that more epithelial regeneration happens. There is only a thin scab here, the vascular granulation tissue, and the fibroblast starts to proliferate, laying down of collagen starts. Then after 4 weeks, we can see here that the cell becomes lessened and the collagen lay down more and more. And this is a type 1 collagen. As we get older, what happens in our tissues? As aging continues, waste products build up in our tissues. There is a certain fatty brown pigments that build up in many of the tissues. The organs and tissues connected to the blocked arteries will then don't receive enough blood to function properly, and connective tissues became more stiff. That's why the organs, the blood vessels, and the airways became more rigid. The cell membrane also changed. So many tissues are having trouble in collecting the nutrients and the oxygen it needs. And it also having problem in the secretion of the waste products together with the carbon dioxide. So as the cell dies, also it will affect the tissue because tissue is made up of cells. Then the tissue will lose its mass. So the skin became saggy as we get older.